Hello, friends. How are we today? A wonderful, whatever the day is. It's a Monday. I guess it's Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
Tuesday or Monday. I don't know. I'm okay with it though.
Jack?
Tuesday.
Thank you.
Okay, Tuesday it is.
The boss says it's Tuesday. It's Tuesday.
Warner looks like he needs some sad music. Do you need some?
It's just been waiting.
I'm great. Full of life. What do you mean sad?
Oh, you just kind of. You know what? You look a little melancholy.
I don't think so.
No?
I don't feel melancholy. I'm melodious.
Yeah. How was the long weekend?
Yeah, what'd you do yesterday? It would have been a normal day there. Not a long weekend.
Oh, it was 92 degrees out here.
Come on.
It was so hot.
Stop hogging the heat.
Plenty hot. I saw Florida 115 in parts.
Oh my goodness!
Bit much.
No wonder those people go batshit crazy.
Mm.
Yeah, the heat will do it.
Florida man just needed a cold shower.
Yeah, the heat will do it to you. The heat will do it. Pinder, how was your whatever it was?
Pretty dull. I mean, bad weather. Stayed in town.
Yeah.
Kids had a
Pints,
couple
pints
sleepovers.
anywhere? Hit the pubs? Come on, Pinder.
Did you post that?
Didn't even
Did
go
you?
out.
Wait. More
Position A?
importantly, how did your tire affair work out?
Tire's great. Yeah, I think I definitely did not break even on the Strathmore adventure, which was disappointing because I definitely was in line to come out in black ink there. But yeah.
No, hey. That's not really. See, you're very thin on details, right? As for details, you said you
Well,
don't care about how much money you made.
no, I had to buy a new tire, and that wasn't cheap. And I ended up just having a lunch in Strathmore, and then by the time I was done that, it was time to go home. It worked out perfect.
Would you replay how you had tackled the adversity?
I could have rode the greasy donut at 50 down the highway for 2 hours, but I would have been late for the show. I had to do the show from the hotel room anyway. I wasn't gonna have time to get back and do that. So I definitely, for the show's purposes, that played out perfectly. And then by the time I was done at lunch, it was the car's ready to go. So yeah, it worked fine.
All right.
Yep.
Good. I'm glad you got home safe, buddy.
Yeah, but next time that low pressure light comes on, I'm gonna maybe
Deal with
heed
it?
a little more respect to that.
Now, was it completely like blowing up, or could you?
No, I think what the issue was is that it held on very nicely, and then at the very end, it got rolled on with less pressure than necessary, and that ruined the
then
tire.
it's sliced.
Yeah. Or maybe just have more faith in the spare tire. The whole driving 50K, taking 2 hours to get home.
Mm-hmm. It was greasy. It was rainy. It was not the risk I needed to take, but if I had to, I would have. Yes.
Hey, sure.
He is not a farm kid. Let's not kid ourselves.
Well,
and that's
I mean,
fine. It's not a slight. You tackle problems your way, Farmer Joe.
I've changed tires. It's not. I don't need Brooks Light on the side of the highway to help me. I can get the jack and put it up and put on the spare. It was just I was hungover. I needed to do a show. I wanted to have a big old lunch after that, and all that fit nicely with someone else doing all the work.
Perfect.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Play to your strengths. So
Yeah.
in every walk of life, just whatever it is you do, play to your strengths. Know where you're best. Where you can best be. Utilize your skill level, your skills. Especially
Know where your bread's buttered, right, Dean?
Yeah, something like that.
Know
Now,
where your
Jack,
buns
you
are-
were. How was your lunch on Friday?
Oh, fantastic.
Because you and Ryan had a big dinner date all planned out.
Yep. I came to the studio. I even wore my nice pair of jeans. He was going to take me out.
Oh, I thought you were trying to get
Your
down
true
with Rhett.
religions.
Working hard here.
Got your true religions out. And
Isn't the courting with Rhett? What the hell are you wearing nice jeans for me?
how'd he look?
Yeah. He wasn't here.
How? Speaking of which, how long were the new religions okay?
Oh, that's a short window.
It was a small pocket of time, wasn't it?
I mean, outside Edmonton, where I think they're still rocking. But
You look at it, it's like, oh, that's certainly different. Wow, that's loud. Oh, there's a lot of people wearing them. They must be cool. Yeah, I'm not sure about these pants. They're very. I'm not quite.
are those
sure.
the ones that men would wear with the sequins on the pockets? Because that I never really got that.
There was a lot. The old True Religion jean had a lot of different looks. The best part I really liked was like I remember we went to a buddy's house. I had him on, and they had the big buttons on them, right?
Yeah.
And he had brand new furniture, wooden,
Oh.
dark wood chairs at the kitchen table. Gouged to shit. I'm like, ooh.
Soft wood. You need a hardwood. Come on.
Yeah. Do you respect wood? That's what I need to know. Well, it's over. We went to 7 games, Canucks
Got
and
the
Oilers.
7.
It all came down to last night, and boy, it was. I mean, if you're cheering for the Oilers and your only hope was to win the game and get through, then congratulations. But if you were a innocent bystander just wanting to watch some thrilling hockey, it was not your night.
If you missed the first 50 minutes of this hockey game, well played, because the last 10 was fine.
Yeah, if you forgot that the game was on.
Oh, shoot.
And then, wow, there's like 9 minutes left. Oh, this looks pretty good. Shots are a little lopsided, but not too bad. It was the first period
Atrocious.
it was 0-0, but it was just a complete drubbing. And it didn't get a whole lot better in the second. They got a few more shots in the second half of the second period, but through 40 minutes, it was obvious this game.
They were terrible.
Whew.
Well, and I can't decide, were the Oilers really good or were the Canucks really bad? The
Canucks were really bad.
Yeah. The Oilers might have been good too, but when the Canucks had a 4-minute power play essentially to close out the first, I know there was a couple seconds that hung around to the second period, and you generated no shots.
-1 shots.
0.
And you allowed a breakaway against, like a clear-cut breakaway. Like that was the complete, okay, you haven't been great for 16 minutes. Here's your chance to actually have a lead you don't deserve. And if you want to win game 7, you probably need one here. And instead, not a single shot. Rick Tocchet went very, very cautious and put 2 D-men out with 3 forwards. I know they're missing Besser, but when they got to it later in the game, they didn't do that again. They put Garland on that top unit and it hummed. Nikita Zadorov should not be repping first power play minutes,
regardless,
or second. Like
it's not a Zadorov thing.
It's 2D, no shots. It was listless.
Why were they so listless, as you say? Like, well, how could and I don't want to bring it back, but I like talking about me. Like, was it the game 7 Anaheim, Dean?
I referenced it online yesterday that the Canucks were giving the 06 Flames game 7 performance against Anaheim a real run for their money for the shittiest ever game 7. That was a 3-0 game.
Last 10 minutes probably keep them out of the history books. Right?
Yeah, it kind of does. I wonder if I deleted it because I did throw it up there.
But they were not into it. They were out of sync. They weren't moving. They didn't pass when they should. No. They didn't work to get open when they didn't have the puck.
They looked afraid, right? They looked cautious and afraid, didn't they? Like.
And
tired.
Yeah, they did look gassed too.
We talked earlier in the series about the Oilers with those forwards playing big minutes. They look tired. What are you going to do? And then by last night, and I would guess if you go back to game 6, probably stretches there, it did look like the Canucks.
Now, is that a Canucks team that just hasn't been through a little bit? You know, like maybe you can complain about Edmonton not having enough success, but they have had playoff series at least to build some. Resilience.
This was uncharted for sure, right? Like that group played in a bubble. That group. And only a few of them, and that was their only playoff experience.
Yeah.
I didn't think Filip Hronek had a good series. You could have used Besser there for sure. You didn't. If you'd told someone at the beginning of the series there'd be no Demko, and which we knew, I guess, at the time, and that you'd lose Besser for game 7, you'd be like, shit, like how'd they even get that far? But not good enough. Not an awful effort. And to be fair, in game 6, they got pumped too. It's been since that game 5, it looks like they were spent.
You look, and even in game 1, they had that 4-1 lead and then lost. The Oilers were probably full marks in 5, games in this series. Vancouver was very good, which was game 5.
Yeah, really good game 5. Game 3 they steal, and they're all 6 of them are 1-goal games. So I mean, yeah,
there it is. But the right team won last night. The right team won in game 6. They. And you can't even look at it and say it was a power play, special teams kind of thing. It was more, like you say, on the other side. That I agree with you. That 4-minute, it felt like it was awfully early in the game for this to be a huge part of the hockey game, but you felt it. If you don't get something here, because they'd already had that Mikheyev chance in tight, where it's turned over and he can't bury because he doesn't score anymore, apparently.
Well, he had won 60 games, so yeah, give him $4.7 million.
So, and it wasn't the power play. It wasn't all McDavid, Draisaitl. They were very good defensively, Retro. They blocked shots. I don't know, you know, they were better defensively. Now, again, they're going against the Vancouver team. Sorry, and their whole thing is we don't get a lot of shots. They just don't. Rick Tocchet teams don't seem to get a lot of shots, but certainly that was not the calling card of the Vancouver Canucks. So I don't know if that's easier to do, block shots and shut down an offense, but they looked, if not uncharacteristically, then they deserve credit for how they played in their own end.
Yep.
In terms of
really good, especially after the speed wobbles they had early in the series. Like that Nurse CC pairing was just brutal. They tinkered, they moved some guys around, and when all was said and done, their last 2 games, they just wet blanketed the Canucks really well. I think there's probably a lot of credit on both sides in terms of Edmonton was structurally very good, and Vancouver looked very, very flat.
I saw a tweet this morning. It said, yeah, the Oilers won, but the Canucks, of course, were without Demko, Besser, and Pettersson. So how is that even fair?
Yeah, it's kind of true.
So, yeah, it was crickets for Elias Pettersson. They chanted his name. They tried to get him going.
Yeah, it was late.
The old PK on the ESPN was saying how, he's back into it in the first. He's physical and he's playing hard. And I'm like, okay. I'll squint too.
Yeah.
I also would prefer to see Elias Pettersson scoring rather than throwing 2 hits. That's going to help. That's why he gets 11 plus next year, which is a lot of money.
Yeah.
Didn't like the attitude in the interview, and I didn't think the results were very good.
So that interview, we played it on the show. I went to reference it last night. I was like, when was that? Where was it in this whole roller coaster? That was after game 4 that they lost. It was coming home to Vancouver before game 5 that they did win, where they were emotionally charged. That was their best game of the series, game 5. They win at home and they outchance and outshoot Edmonton. They got into the 30s in shots. Wow, Vancouver. I went and watched it again last night. There's no way that guy's not dealing with something, because it seemed like hockey was well down the list of issues he was dealing with, given his, body language, posture, tone, energy, everything.
For the series, if you need it, 1 goal and 2 assists. Is that what it ends up being over the 7 games? He did not score at all in the Nashville series. So a forgettable playoff for sure for that young man. And the other guy too, I'd be shocked if Quinn Hughes isn't dealing with something in a big way. There were a couple plays last night where there was a loose puck in the neutral zone where usually he's going to jump up and try and grab it. He just peeled off and started kind of collapsing because he knew he couldn't get there.
He looked gassed and not right.
Yeah.
That doesn't look like a Norris defenseman in that series at all.
It's not been in it before.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, it's.
We're speculating on everything. Yeah. Throw that.
Frank had speculated in round 1 because he's covered Vancouver's 2 series now, because he had Nashville, Vancouver in round 1, and he was saying in like game 4 or 5, like something might not be right with Hughes. And I don't know if that was him just sort of something looked off, or knowing Frank, it means he's probably got something whispered in his ear that's top secret. But yeah, Quinn Hughes did not look like a Norris Trophy defense. He looked like a guy that was working, but that wasn't the best defenseman in the league this year. And he absolutely was that in the regular season.
Yeah.
Like he was creating offense, jumping up in the play, making odd man rushes. We didn't see much of that.
And you think of the things on the other side, too many minutes for McDavid. McDavid held off the score sheet. What are they doing in net? Calvin Pickard played 2 games in this series. And it's not really about that. At the end of the day, Artur Silovs, you're without Demko. You're playing your number 3. That really isn't. If anything, he was brilliant. If you want to talk about a story coming out of the series, it went longer than I thought it was going to. I thought the Oilers would get it, but
How'd you feel after game 5, though?
Well, yeah, I mean that's. Right.
They had to claw out. They showed some character there.
Yeah. Well, I looked at it because they've talked about for the Oilers, went 0 for 4 against Vancouver in the regular season, And then we're down 2-1. So 1 win in 7 against the Canucks, and then won 3 of 4. Playoffs. Momentum.
Don't like this, Dean. Don't like this.
I was, because I knew we were going to get there eventually. Is there any more from last night? No Besser. Outshot.
Do you see the JT Miller shot late that hits Zadorov instead of going into a
Yeah.
net that would tie the game?
Yeah. Worth mentioning. And I know this is a painful exercise for everybody. You know what? Just take a break. It's for McLeod Law.
Okay.
It's for McLeod Law. It's our opening statements here on the show today. Before we get to, because this Oiler love is it's no bueno. Whether your challenge, your legal issue is business or personal, McLeod Law, they're in it with you, professionals with a common goal. McLeod Law, very proud of their Calgary roots, a big part of their long-standing client relationships. They understand the city, the people in it, and the way things work. And like the communities they serve, McLeod Law team, varied and diverse, with a commitment to making a positive impact on Calgary. Our opening statement's a presentation of McLeod Law, McLeod-law.com. Again, the online stuff, I know you wouldn't have seen any or much of it, Retro, but it was good stuff. It was good entertainment back and forth. Two fan bases that certainly hate each other and very much love their teams, and they all wear their goggles. They all see, to some degree, things that aren't really there, that they think are there.
Well, both teams got screwed severely by the refs.
Yeah,
I don't know
both,
that you noticed that on Twitter. I saw that the Canucks had been absolutely screwed, but also the Oilers. How could they be screwing the Oilers like this? So
everybody's diving and everyone's taking cheap shots and the whole thing. But the Evan Bouchard, Quinn Hughes discussion coming into the series or during the series, it's Bouchard will never be, can't hold his jock, that whole thing. Evan Bouchard has evolved into a hell of a hockey player, still is prone to some mistakes, but when you're playing that much and in those situations, he was clearly the more high-end, high-octane defenseman in this series.
Yeah, and they're going to pay for it because the nerds all said lock him up. He's going to be a star, and he's going to go from less than $4 million to about $11 million pretty quick here.
Had 2 assists.
If he stays there, like it's nuts.
11 points in the series, 2 game-winning goals. Becomes the first defenseman to record at least 20 points through the first 2 rounds. There's more to it than just getting points, but that's a lot of points. And they had a hard, even when he wasn't scoring, he was a factor. He was getting the shots through, making plays. And it's taken a while for him to get there, to your point about maybe should you have locked this guy up. But I think it was hard for a while to lock this guy up just because you would focus more on the brain cramp and less on the points. Well, yeah, of course you're going to get points. You're playing on the power play and you're with McDavid and Draisaitl. Hard to justify points as being the rationale or the reason behind signing the guy. But the addition last year of every time I swear I have Echo. Thank you. Fuck. Different guy once he was able to play alongside a guy like that. It's the Tanev effect.
Just going to have shortcomings. And if you can play him with a guy that covers up those shortcomings and makes the game easier for his partner, it's huge. He reminds me, bear with me and tell me I'm an idiot. Adrian Aucoin.
Okay.
Adrian Aucoin with the Islanders, he was a player, and all of a sudden with the Islanders, he's playing 28 minutes a night, and you're like, he's not a great skater, but a good enough skater, had a cannon for his shot, would put up a bunch of points, like smart. Bouchard reminds me of Aucoin, and I think he'll get paid way more than Aucoin, and I think he's regarded probably in a higher, I don't know what the word I'm looking for. So, yeah. Than Aucoin probably ever was. But there was a point in time when Aucoin was all-star defenseman playing 28 minutes a night with the Islanders. And Bouchard looks like that. He's got the hard shot. Like I said, to start, though, I think there's going to be a lot of holes in his game defensively. And Ekholm's getting older. He's not going to be able to play with him forever.
Yeah.
but whatever. He had a great series.
So they played 12 playoff games last year, the Oilers. They've played 12 this year. 12 was all they got last year. How many points do you think Evan Bouchard had in 12 games last year?
I tried not to pay attention.
17.
17.
And so he's at 20 this year, and people are losing their minds. It was after he had 17 points in 12 games that they should have gone long-term on this MF and got a deal. And honestly, who's
so you're spinning this into a negative?
No. He's been unbelievable. Sorry, I wanted to talk about that because I feel like it's a massive blunder. But who would you have getting more points than this defenseman next year? Given what you've seen growth-wise, given the power play unit he operates,
it's a short list for what there is.
I think this is one of the best offensive defensemen in the NHL.
And for a while, it just seemed like he's got the big shot. Like I say, plays the power play with those two donkeys, has a big booming shot, but it was almost more about his wrist shot he was finding ways to walk the line and find ways to get the shot through. Anyway,
very high hockey IQ. Already a point per game player this year.
He was terrific. And yes, Leon Draisaitl, 24 points in 12 games, has a point in every single game. He has been a workhorse. And even after they worked to take him out of the series and cover him and try and still finds a way to get open. He is just he is a horse. He is a terrific passer. It feels like if you pick Conn Smythe today, it's him over McDavid. And I don't know that it's not to say that it's not close, but to me, he has been the guy who has been most consistent, most involved.
Absolutely robbed last night. Of
him and Bouchard, man. Those would be your leading guys on that team.
Yeah. It's still amazing how he can be on the goal line with a boat paddle and just whack them in. Just whack them in. Yeah, Stuart Skinner gets back in. He was fine.
Hyman test him again. We talked about it in game. When did they turn to Pickard? He was 4 and 5, right? Because they lost.
Yes.
Oilers lost 5. They won 4. They didn't test Pickard in game 4. They finally got some rubber on him in game 5. He was really good, but then they go back to Skinner. I felt like it was the same thing. Like you got Skinner in a game 7 and you don't test him. Like, okay. Oh, you tried when you were down 3-0 with 10 minutes left.
So to flip it, just to play the what if, because it ends up being a 1-goal game. What if it gets to overtime and the Canucks win? What's being said about the Oilers today?
Oh man, it's absolutely house of cards stuff. That could be the end of a chapter. It might not be, but there's a good chance that's a reasonable outcome here because this is the July 1st that you talk to Leon and say, hey, let's resign.
Well, and it's more than one thing. Like you're going to want to keep these guys probably, but there's going to be some evaluating of kind of like the Toronto deal where the roster construction's off. So somebody's going to evaluate that. But the other flip side of that also is the fact that these superstars are going to get sick of not advancing.
Yes,
right?
That's the whole
they
thing.
lose
that's the house of cards.
Yeah, that's the bigger part.
It's their third trip to the conference final in 3 years. They lose to Vegas in round 2 last year, Colorado the year prior. This marks the third straight year they will face the number 1 seed in the conference.
They've never been that. Isn't that odd? In fact, they haven't won the division very often either.
Yeah.
You'd think they should have 4 or 5 of those. Vancouver this year, Flames 2 years ago, Vegas in there.
And I don't know what you think. They beat Nashville, or they beat LA. Vancouver had to beat Nashville, and you felt like as soon as they beat LA, well, whatever it is, if it's Nashville or Vancouver, it's kind of a softer touch than having to play the Carolina Hurricanes or the New York Rangers or the Florida Panthers.
Colorado, Boston.
It feels like they're going to have to be at their best against the Dallas Stars, who got it done on the weekend. I don't know how many people. Now, I believe I saw it was one of those Dom models.
Mm-hmm. Favored,
and he's got the Oilers favored in this one.
He's had them favored for the whole playoffs since the beginning, and I think a lot of that was the path. Because again, to your point, I don't think the Pacific had a monster. If Vegas somehow fell in instead of Nashville, or they got into the LA hole, then maybe they're not as high. But I mean, if all the teams left say, "Who did you beat?" I mean, Dallas is saying, "Hey, we beat Vegas and Colorado." That's really impressive.
Yeah,
the Rangers had a soft touch in round 1. Florida, okay, you beat a couple good but not great teams. It's the easiest path. That was the softest quadrant of the bracket. It wasn't pretty, but they're through it.
And like you said, after Game 5, just with how physical it was, and you knew the Oilers were going to have to dig in, it felt like they're going to be beat up regardless of what happens. If this goes 7, it's all the extra. They didn't look like a team that was very beat up last time.
But it's still hard on you. And they got through, so it's fine. Yeah. It doesn't matter, but it's still going to have an effect moving forward. The more you play, the more tired you get. Like it's all fine and good right now because you had a victory, but it might cost you in Game 5 against Dallas. It might cost you in Game 3 against Dallas. And don't forget that you think Vancouver played them hard? The fucking Dallas Stars are physical.
Yeah, what are we talking about with Vancouver? Their bottom 6 let them down. That's not going to happen with Dallas. They got 8 20-goal guys.
It feels that way, right? It's funny things happen. They go a certain way until they don't, and then it's kind of hard to predict sometimes. But yeah, it feels like the depth on D, the depth in general, the scoring depth for the Dallas Stars will be a bit of a handful. I just see it's in here. The Vancouver Canucks, I saw when someone call it a dream season because there was not a whole lot expected, I don't think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they were kind of bubble to out. It was where most people thought they'd be.
Yeah, I kind of remember at the start of the year, Frank had them as a playoff team, and I think maybe there was some chortling going on in the studio. I'm not sure if I recall that correctly.
I remember him being in Calgary in the preseason, and we went out for drinks, and he was like, Canucks are going to be good this year. I'm like, are you crazy? And then he talked me through it, and you're like, okay, it could happen, but like not win the division good, not like almost head home ice through the West good.
Yeah.
And to be fair, like everything went in for 2 months, and then things stabilized, but shit, like that's a hell of a year. They've reset their culture is the biggest thing. It looks like a group that they know what they are now. They have an identity, and that was not there for the Benning era.
I saw Quinn Hughes use the quote, "We got the stink out of the dressing room," or "We got the stink out of here." That's quite something from the captain. I don't know what that means or any of that. So what about next year? Does it just you assume they're going to come back? Going to come back and be a team that's going to contend for the division title, be one of the best in the West. Here's what they're looking at as far as the offseason is concerned with free agents. Philip Hronek is a RFA. He has ARB rights. It was not a good playoff for him, for sure. Not a good series against Edmonton. And outside of that, Dakota Joshua, he was kind of a nice find. He's a UFA. Sam Lafferty, Daniel, a UFA, not so much there. But then it's Lindholm, Zadorov, and Tyler Myers. All of those guys are going to want raises.
No,
I don't
Myers
know.
is not going to want a raise.
I think he'll want a raise. I don't think he'll get one. But
Zadorov's incorrect at the number there. He's not making 6. He's making
6.
3.75, I think. Yeah. And he'll be asking for 6, which again, you probably want someone else to pay him 6, not you, but they did like him. And I gets back to the conundrum I talked about last week. I think he's an elite third pair guy. I think he's exposed as a second pair guy. So what do you pay him? I don't know. Where does he go? Highest bidder?
He looks good.
It was a good. The
move can roll your eyes for all you want. You have a jaded. I understand your opinion of him, and I'm not telling you you're wrong, but you can still say he looked good.
He did. He had a great series. There's no question. Right? I'm not saying
you rolled your eyes when I said it.
But if you want to take guys and take their cap hit and where they slot in the roster, that's half the league is either being paid more or less than what they should be getting for that role. I'm a second line center. I'm a third line winger. I'm a fourth line. Because you keep coming back to where he's going to play and what he's going to be paid.
Yeah, because that's the GM's
end,
right?
Well, of course, that's the end goal for everybody. But when you get to unrestricted free agency, how often does that happen? How often do guys get paid what we deem correctly based on what their service is going to be with
I'm not saying he's not getting paid. I think he is going to get paid. What I think the challenge is that a team like Vancouver, they know where they want to slot him, and they're not going to meet the top of the market price that someone else will, is my hypothesis here.
And that's fine. But
yeah, I think it's like a Branson thing all over again. Someone like Columbus will give him too much money and play him over a slot.
He's better than good Branson.
Of course he is. But again, like it's the same situation. It's a guy that we knew was a really good third pair guy that has been exposed since they paid him like a second pair guy. And someone was going to like look at what Zadorov has been his whole career and say, like, this is a guy we could use. And absolutely. It only cost them a third and 3 years and a fifth to get him. This isn't a guy that the league thinks a superstar. Like, people know he's the third pair guy, but someone's going to blow the brains out on the cash here. I just don't see it being Vancouver.
No, I don't see how it can be.
They got too much of the shit, right? Like, Chronic's a big deal.
Well, they got that big Pettersson thing coming up too.
11.6. Oopsie daisy.
So yeah, he will get paid. The Big Z. And now that the season is over for Elias Lindholm, we've seen it all. Up front, like, right close and personal. We've seen it from a distance, the highs, the lows. Now that we know what the season has been for Elias Lindholm, if it still feels like he's worse off than maybe he was a year ago,
no question,
to sign a contract or
no
extension.
Question. I do think there was some value back from where he was, let's say, before the playoffs started, though.
It's a year that cost him some money.
Okay. How going through his career and we've seen enough of him. We have the info.
Yeah.
He sure as hell is not a number one.
No, and that's what people thought he was this past summer, and what his agent and he would have been asking for is number one center money.
But he's proven,
not
without a doubt, he is not a number one.
I think he's proven he's a number two center.
Number two center.
What's that worth?
He was wanting in the neighborhood of 9.
He ain't getting that
on an 7 or 8 year deal. He's not going. I'm with you. We can all shake our heads in unison. He's not going to get that. He's also one of those guys too. You like him, but he's not an necessarily offensive. He contributes offensively. There's some offense there, but he's not really a shutdown guy either. You don't really hear him in the Selke conversation. I see you scrambling.
I think he's a good defensive centerman, but I'll go look at the metrics here.
I guess all I mean is if you want to get paid to that high end, to use it, what are you? Are you Barkov? Are you Drysdale? Like, what are you? And there's nothing wrong with being somewhere in the middle, but it's a bit of a head scratch when it comes to just what it's going to take to get him under contract.
Yeah. So if he wanted, let's say, call it, 9 a year times 8 is, let's call it $70 million. If that's what he was asking for from the Flames in the fall, that's number one center money, not elite all-star money, even though he went to the freaking all-star game. What a joke that was. Sure. But if someone's bringing him in, it might be a team like Boston. Say, come play on our second line. We got the culture and structure thing figured out. You'll thrive here. If we can do it with Pavel Zacha and Charlie Coyle and Jake DeBrusk, you could be a 2C here, right? What do you pay him? Is it like, you probably don't have the max term. You didn't play poorly enough where you're going to take a 1 year and try to build your value back. Is it 6.5 times 6? Is it 7 times 5? Like, what are we looking at here?
Yeah, I don't.
I had him at $40 million. Well, however you worked it out, kind of a 6 to 7 year deal, and in that kind of.
If it's 40, that's literally like, that's almost half.
It's a lot, yeah. It's a lot left on the table.
I think he's going to do better than that, but it's just, you can't sell him as the number one center anymore. You just can't. A year ago, you could have.
Well, and he's, or
at least his agent could try to.
Like you said earlier too, Dean, about Zadorov, it's free agency, so he'll probably get a little bit more than he's worth.
Where do you want to go? What do you want to be?
But it will be also one of those things too, where kind of similarly to kind of now bring your point back up, Ryan, is you get to UFA and we can say there's only takes one team, but okay, so what are our needs, and how much cap space do we have, and how much do we want to pay this guy, and for how long?
Yeah.
We'd like him for the next 3 years. We'll pay you. He's not taking a 3-year deal, I don't imagine. No. And if he's your number one center, or if he's going to be your number two center, you're probably paying a number one guy a fair bit of money. It will be very interesting to see what the team dynamic is, need, cap space, and all of that finds him a fit. The
one fly in the ointment, and Pinder, you've brought it up a fair bit, is Utah. They have... tell me if I'm wrong, but I'm guessing they have plenty of cap space and an owner that wants to spend. And how fast does he want to turn the culture, and how fast does he want to change it? And right, like, I'm not saying it's the right move for them, but the fly in the ointment with all of these free agents is, if they're like you said, it only takes one team, and if that team's targeting you, all of a sudden, who knows?
They got $43 million cap space, and that team has been run like they were owned by a guy that was really, really cheap and didn't want to spend, because they were. And now they're owned by a guy that wants to make a splash in a new market, has an appetite to win, and they've loaded themselves up with draft picks. They have, in the next 3 years alone, 10 second rounders. Like, you can go move those for players that make money and immediately be competitive. You could go spend on Lindholm, add Marner in trade, sign Tanev, like, just say, we're going to be good next year. You can do it. Like, it's
you add
right
Lindholm
there.
and then trade for his buddy Markstrom.
Sure. I mean, I don't know that they need a goalie, but yeah, like Ingram led the league in shutouts, but yeah, you
whatever,
can do
whatever team, New Jersey, he could play in New Jersey. Could they use a centerman like Lindholm? Feels like a devil to me.
Islanders, I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a good player. It's just he's not the guy you want to give all that money in term to because he's not a star. He's just that second tier player, right?
One of the other thing that I always think about is Colorado. What are they? I don't know their cap situation at all, but I know that a guy like those guys aren't there. McKinnon is not like Pettersson and going to quietly mope his way about. He's of the opinion that we need to win, and now is a real good time to do that.
So I think what Colorado will do is say, how do we feel about Casey Middlestat? Because that's the guy they went at the deadline, who's young and they have lots of team control over. Is he a number 2 center? And if he is, they don't need a Lindholm. If he isn't, then they're still trying to plug that Kadri hole that opened up when he left 2 years ago, right?
The Boston one's interesting, and we got all kinds of time to talk about this. And I want to get to the Pinder Report because I believe we're going to have Frank Seravalli before too long.
Let's do it.
And we may have to split it. But seeing on the weekend, talking about the Pasternak era in Boston, and it just kind of runs through his years there. Eliminated by Florida in round 2, Florida in round 1, Carolina in round 1, Islanders round 2, Tampa round 2, St. Louis in the final, Tampa round 2, Ottawa round 1, obviously going backwards in chronological order. So one trip to beyond the second round in 8 years. That comes back to the whole Boston thing. Have you maximized that roster, the opportunity to get through? And now you're going to run into Tampa Bay. They were very good for a long period of time, but where is Boston at?
Boston. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, what are they doing with DeBrusk? They're doing something in net. They don't need those two guys. So they're
a lot like Colorado, aren't they? Where they've won a cup, although it's way back, and they've been good in the regular season. You're just not having as much playoff success. And further, they should have beat Chicago in the finals.
Should have beat St. Louis
13. And they should have beat it's easy to say should have. They were up and had opportunity to win. They had to blow it to lose those 2 cups. Now there's 3 cups, right? Like, at least they've been that close. And I can't put anything. You're referencing the Pasternak, and I'm like, why is it him?
No, it was just kind of because I'm with you. Well, they won that cup. It was kind of a lifetime ago.
Well, to be fair, those core guys are gone. Like, yes, you probably have
Bergeron's the only guy.
That's it.
Yeah, Bergeron's the only guy.
Krejci's gone. Chara's gone. Like, it's a different team.
And it's not like it's a knock because they've been a very good team. I think probably every year except for the one when they had the 3 first-round picks or whatever. I don't even know where that fell in. But you make the playoffs every year. But would you take that? Say you're the Calgary Flames, we'll get to round 1 and 2. We're guaranteed to make the playoffs every year. Round 1, round 2, but getting beyond that's going to be a real pickle.
But that's the whole thing for everyone, isn't it? Go to Carolina.
Yeah. And they've even had some Final Four appearances. It's tough, man. Like, even McDavid, has not had a win beyond round 2. They're good. Like, that's a good team. It's hard. Like, when we get to this point of the season, there's only teams that look elite left.
Yeah.
It's really hard. It doesn't mean Boston hasn't been good. They've been reeling off 100+ point seasons here, despite losing Bergeron, Krejci, Chara. It's wild how they haven't actually fallen out of it since all that.
You want to do some Pinder Report, and when Frank jumps in, if he does, we'll break, and then
we'll go sportsy, get to Frank, and come back and do nonsense.
Whatever, yeah, I know you don't like to. It's like when you pee, you don't like to stop because it stings.
Does it sting for you? Seen a doctor about that.
How was your weekend?
Can't stop once I start. It stings. Let's do the Pinder Report. It's a presentation of Village Honda. The 2024 Honda Accord, redesigned last year, was chosen by Car and Driver magazine as the #1 mid-sized sedan. Already one of the most reliable vehicles on the road, better than ever. Its superior ride quality, its reliability, impressive fuel economy, all thanks to the EXL Hybrid. It's that and more at Village Honda, your dealership for life, located in the Northwest Auto Mall. Village Honda.
Ryan Pinder.
With the Pinder Report.
Well, we'll start with the Flames, fellas. We have a little bit of, well, I guess, finalizing of what we know. There's our Pike bomb of the day. Vancouver loses. They do not get to the conference final. The Flames do not get the Jersey 4th rounder converted to a Vancouver 3rd rounder. The difference is not huge, but it is a 4th, not a 3rd. And the other thing we know is the Flames will be selecting 28th in the draft with Vancouver's pick, not 29, 30, 31, 32, because the only teams in the regular season with more points than Vancouver, they left. Yeah. They're still there. They're in the Final Four. So no conditional pick, and round 1 will be selection number 28. That means the Flames have pick number 9, number 28. They've got theirs in Dallas's in the 2nd round, theirs in Vegas's in the 3rd, and now theirs in New Jersey's in the 4th. That is 8 picks in the top 107. It is a big draft for Craig Conroy, to say something that is pretty obvious. Man. Whew. 8 of the
what
top
an opportunity. Hey, Rhett, what a chance.
Hit some dingers.
Hit some dingers. Swing for the fences. And to be serious about it, when you have this many picks, you should be taking some heavy cuts and looking for chase some high ceiling. Yeah, maybe this guy doesn't play, but if he does, he'll be done. Yeah, take some of those. Don't go safe here. You have a problem with that?
Good player. He goes up and down the wing. And
yeah, we feel like it's a bit of a project, but 8-9 years down the road, he might be a 4th line center for Nashville.
Oh, don't do that.
It's a good chance. Sorry. It was just random. I just picked some.
Don't let your scouts go to Quebec high school hockey that we didn't even know was a thing until that 1 year.
From the Zuta Lore Hockey Academy and Chicoutimi. What?
Huh?
Bill Terwilliger.
Now, you guys keep giving me grief when I tell you the new rink's going to be ready in fall 2027, right? And what do I say? I'm not at City Hall. I'm not working for the construction company. Who do I always say knows what's going on?
I don't think we give you grief about the timeline of the rink. It's just, well, they're going to have a new rink by then. So this should affect you in 2024, June.
Point being, who does know what's going on at the Stampede grounds? It's Ryan Pike, and he's got a brand new article up. Here comes the neighborhood. Slowly but surely, Stampede Park area is getting a facelift. I don't know if that's new art or old art, but yes. Stampede Park's kind of an island when you think about it. You've got all the barns and stables and all the Stampede stuff to the south and to the east. To the north, you have the CP rail lines that run and separate the belt line from downtown. And then you got the C-train line that comes across, which makes it hard to, walk into the Stampede grounds. That's all changing. Yeah. Great article up there. The convention center is open to the public June 8, I believe. And there's been a lot of work being done that will coincide in 2027 with a new building and the Green Line ripping through there. It'll be part of the entertainment and culture corridor in the city that stretches from the East Village through. So lots there.
What do you do at the center that it's open to the public now?
You can see where they're going to host conventions.
Oh.
It's nice. I believe, North America's largest fireplace as well, which I know is a big hit.
We love conventions.
I do.
It's great.
Yeah, what's that adult one with the you can get your picture?
Yeah, I love us. Yeah. It is. We deserve it. Let's get that whole area. Let's make it nice.
Yes,
like you said, you got the seats. You got some dingy parking lots and some old houses. Knock that shit down and let's build some nice stuff. Come on, Calgary. God.
Stupid
underpasses, changing the C-train stations, pedestrian thoroughfares,
bike lanes.
We want some thoroughfares.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, and we need some thoroughfares, some patios, some cocktail bars, and some dives. We need some dive bars.
What about, is it Breezeway?
We could use a breezeway or two.
We could use a breezeway up there too.
Yeah.
Come on now.
Happy birthday to your old pal, Rhett, that you, you needed to oust to get your team where you needed to go. There he is. Cheske Budrevic is general manager Roman Turek.
Large.
54, indeed. Still working in hockey, and everything in Czech is topical because they're, of course, hosting a world championships that we're not allowed to talk about. If the IHF gets mad. Weird. There he is. That's your boy. Long hair. Don't mind it, Roman.
I like Large. First party I had, team party, was at Large's house. I was trying to not be a loser drunk, and he was not happy that I would not drink all night with him. Like, sheesh, just want to get my feet settled here on the ground in the big
Brand
city.
new here, Large. You and I, we do shots all night.
Royal.
He is a big dude.
Flaming B-52s with absinthe. Let's go.
Crown Royal he was trying to pour it down my throat.
Okay.
How dare he?
Round 2's over, fellas. That means we got another round of crying Jordans. We'll start with the images that tell the stories of the series before they got memed by hockeyfights.com. There's Rod Brindabor, famously saying we didn't lose 4 games. We have the, hey, you're a rat, Marchand. I'm going to stick my tongue out at you as the Panthers out-rat Marchand and the Bruins. Bottom left, we have Valery Nichushkin while he was still, a member of the team that was not suspended. And then Nikita Zadorov feeling his oats there in a tie game. Then they got the meme treatment, fellas. Let's have a look. There it is.
Oh, where Nichushkin just gone.
Yeah, it just disappeared. That's kind of what happened to the Avs, isn't it? And how did his teammates feel about it? Yeah, they were a little crying Jordan about him leaving. Yeah. They looked like shit after he's gone.
It's weird that in the Vancouver one, it was 4-3. That was a couple games ago.
Yeah.
But even then,
yeah, back and forth we go.
Stupid. Will it ever end?
I hope not.
Or we're all going to be old, headed to our graves. Look, they're making a crying Jordan about me.
Yeah.
This is great.
You'd make it if you'd had someone crying Jordan, yeah.
I guess so, yeah.
Yeah. Now, last we checked, I think last week, I was in Strathmore, Rhett was in Buffalo, and you were in your house.
Yeah.
Yes, the Dallas and the Avs have been settled. The Rangers had been settled, I think.
No, Dallas Avs went Friday night.
Okay, and then the Rangers.
The night before it was the Rangers and the Hurricanes.
Now, do you remember had a big game,
collapse.
Rangers, Hurricanes?
It was Chris Kreider with the natural hat trick in the third period.
So this feels old, but we really haven't done a show since then. This is Chris Kreider the next morning picking up the hats off his front lawn. It's somewhere in Greater New York. I love this. That is awesome, Red. Yes.
That is great.
Yeah. Neighbors.
So good. Yeah.
And probably he's living in an affluent area. There may be some nice finds there.
In New York? Yeah, I think so. Hey, now what would it be like to be Jaromir Jagr in Czech Republic? They're hosting the Worlds. Yami, basically, him and Don Hask delivered a gold medal after Nagano. That was one of the greatest achievements in Czech sporting history, if not the. And the two basically have been immortalized as gods. Prove it. Okay, here we go. We're at the World Series. Look at people when they realize it's Yami. And he's like, okay, I'm just going to get to my... Okay, oh, well, here we go now. Everyone wants a selfie with Yags. Hey?
It's like retro when he's back in Saskatoon.
Wow. Yeah, I
just want to go grab a burger, guys.
A lot of business going on with that phone.
It's all on Google Maps.
Where is my ding Uber? Jesus, no, I'm not. That's not the pickup spot. Oh, well, what? No.
Peter is in a Skoda waiting for you at pickup place.
I'm at the other side of the arena.
Oh, no.
No, I'm on the... I don't know what the north side is. I'm not from here. It's dark. How do I...
What a GD legend. Now, Yami, we do have one little thing to bring up. I see it in the chat. It's looking a little too business in the back for me.
Yeah.
Because business on top is always so
I defer to you.
But
when it comes to the
feels like there's not enough party in the back.
It's true.
Huh.
Be great if he had some kind of a old stars thing, got some guys together and grew back the old mullet.
Yeah.
Do the old Jagr salute.
Would be unbelievable. Okay, we got a couple other items. Frank can jump in at any point whenever you see him there. Let me know. Do you know?
I will.
We start with a infield grand slam. Don't see this often.
Leader of this team, hitting .294 on the season, looking to get something done. Ball hit softly on the infield, going up the line. Not in time. The toss goes over his head. One run scores. Another one comes around. Here's rounding the bags. Kaler scores. Hannon's on third base. This is absolute chaos. The ball squirts away. Hannon's coming home. Oh my goodness! It's an inside the partner. What just happened?
An infield grand slam, not even in the park, in the infield. That's, yeah. Remember where you were, friends. That's not happening anymore.
Good hands all around there.
Yeah, good work, everyone. Way to Crisco those gloves and hands.
Good work, fellas.
New ballpark in, I believe, Japan. This is the Nippon Ham Fighters. Hokkaido, I believe, is the northern island of Japan. Brand new baseball stadium. Look, it looks gorgeous. Gets better, Dean. Hot bath and saunas installed in the outfield. Look at that. Red. This is amazing. We can eat wasabi peas in the steam room and watch a game. Yes.
I just want a hot dog and a beer, but okay.
Yeah.
Well, you can do the Wim Hof and do the cold plunge, the hot steam, cold plunge, then go get a dog to celebrate.
Sober right up.
Yes.
I feel like there's a lot of guys that go to ball games don't really want to be hanging out in the sauna.
Tarps optional.
With a lot of, yeah, exactly.
Let's
just, you know what? Let's just stay out here, keep our clothes on. We'll shoot the shit.
Cultures,
right. Yeah.
different, whatever.
Okay, now, fellas, last two items. Local sports. Notice the hat and notice the T-shirt.
Mm-hmm.
I am rocking the old retro Calgary 88s T-shirt because today the Calgary Surge season begins. They take on the Jerks from Edmonton, the Stingers. It is at the Saddle Dome. It'll be a record-setting night indeed as the Surge. They're going to fill the dome with basketball fans, have a ton of fun. That is tonight, 7 p.m., Surge Stingers at the Dome.
Enjoy the game, Dean. I hope it's lots of dunking.
Timer?
I'm hoping for some hoops and harms.
Okay. And not just that. Now the lid, Calgary FC is in Vancouver to take on the Whitecaps, the MLS side. They are down 2-1 on aggregate thus far, and it is a two-legged matchup in the Canadian Championship. So they will need to outscore the Whitecaps by 1 to get it into kicks or into extra time. If they don't, their tournament is over. Cavalry, did beat the Whitecaps back in 2019.
Then they won't be playing Messi at.
This Messi's ineligible for this tournament. This is the Canadian Championship. Messi plays in Miami, which is not in Canada.
When is that? Sorry,
MLS,
I should write it down.
That was in February. They played the Orlando team.
He was here, and we missed it.
No, he didn't come here. There's a chance next year, same tournament. If they can win the league again, let's go, fellas. Come on.
So that's over?
So he's not coming.
That tournament, they were ousted by Orlando in legs 1 and 2.
I thought you said he was coming to them.
Oh, well, yeah.
They were in the same tournament. I just had to take care of business. Couldn't do it, apparently. If you beat Orlando, who knows?
Blame Messi, I guess, is the lesson we've learned.
Undersell, overperform. Oversell, underperform.
Messi's making, I believe, $29 million US, which I believe is about 29 times the payroll of Calgary. Would have been fun. What's our Frank update? How are we looking? Because I've got nothing but dumbass left. Goodbyes are tough, fellas, and so are endings. Is it happy? Is it sad? Is it tragedy? Is it a comedy? Is it just the friends we made along the way? I don't know, but someone signed off.
It's day 91, and sadly there is no blackjack today. Just me wanting to say the most sincere thank you to every single one of you who has joined this journey. I've gone from 15,000 followers to 1,304,276 of you fucking weapons. So once again, cheers for joining. All right, it's a new day, and I think that calls for a new challenge. So boom, motherfucker, day 1. Day 10, day 20, day 30, day 40.
We have ourselves a goddamn double down. One time, lady, show me picture. Yes, yes, give her a 10, 15, don't you dare get there. Yes, that'll fucking do. We are back.
It's day 50, day 60. There is 514,000 of you in here now. It's day 70, day 75. We have officially hit the milli mark. It is day 80.
Go 10 here, 21, that's a blackjack.
It's day 83, attempt 2 at hitting the millie.
For the millie in history! Yes! Yes! Yes, yes! Fucking yes! 21! 21! What a fucking kickstart! Guaranteed me fucking diesel!
It's day 90.
We take on Sid the Sloth. I've got the fucking shakes. No! Oh my God! I hope this lady knows that she just broke a community. Thanks for coming. It has been an absolute pleasure. Cheers.
So there it is. Hey, thanks, man. Thanks. It was a good run.
We had fun.
It's a good run.
Your turn, Dean.
It's going to last there. Yeah, I'll start with I've got
quitter,
9 Instagram followers, so 9 cents on blackjack today.
10 cents.
Yeah. So now we are going to jump in. We will pause the Pinder Report and welcome our next guest. Usually on a Monday, he's here on a Tuesday. He's our hockey insider, dailyfaceoff.com. It's Frank Seravalli. Frankie boy, how we doing?
I am tired.
Yeah. 7-game series. It's all about, you know, who can be there at the end. Who's got it left in the tank? You're one of those guys that still has it, buddy.
Hey, today is day 26 out of 30 that I've been gone. Ooh. And I'll just say this. Fan, player, hockey reporter, doesn't really matter. You live for days like yesterday.
Game 7.
Game 7.
An awful
for
game.
A better
7.
opening 40. But.
Yeah. It was,
I mean, what's were you not entertained?
For the first 50 minutes?
I was underwhelmed by the Canucks effort.
Well, you could be underwhelmed by the Canucks effort, but first off, they traded chances like crazy in the first 10 minutes. The Canucks had a juicy 4-minute power play that they did nothing with to close out the first period. That, to me, is as good a first period as you can ask for in a Game 7, where usually teams wade into it and try and feel each other out. That didn't happen. And then the Oilers took over from there. They played a pretty perfect first 52 minutes and then nearly absolutely shit the bed once again.
Yeah, I suppose it was. You know what? From where I was sitting, I suppose it just really didn't feel. I didn't feel that Game 7 energy. Watching it on TV, sitting at home, it was a shit game, Frank. Like
if you were in the building and you sensed the nervous energy and being in this market, and more so being spending a lot of time in Edmonton, like think about what the Oilers were staring down.
Oh, I do understand.
The stakes were high. We understand the stakes. The game itself, how many shots do they have through 40?
The
4?
Mikheyev try in close, I don't think even counted as a shot on goal. That's a missed opportunity. And yeah, the 4-minute power play was a kick right in the stones. It just didn't. It didn't come across on my TV that way. I'm sure.
Well, you guys just have your Calgary Flames hats on. I don't know what to tell you.
That's not it at all. I mean, they had 2 shots on net in the first period, or whatever the hell
Canucks
it was.
were underwhelmed. There's no one's disputing that, but to say that there wasn't enough entertainment in a Game 7, I'm sorry, like that's insane.
Well, no, but Frank, if the Canucks play better, we have a better game. Agree? Like they didn't play well.
Sure, but like I said, there were plenty of elements to it that made it an enthralling game. If you have 20 minutes plus of it that you're absolutely on the edge of your seat, like how much more do you want? I'm sorry. I've seen
Toronto Game 7.
I've seen way worse Game 7s. Like
that's worse than we had this year. I mean, it's not close.
Okay.
No.
I think we should probably just move along.
We can move along. Because you were on the Besser thing. That was, I mean, that's a blow too. Walk us through how that. I mean, what's you can treat it, but it's not like he's out of the woods. What's the update with Besser blood clots? That whole thing.
Yeah, Rick Tocchet, I think, used the appropriate term, zapper. It zapped them of a bit of their mojo, I think. I mean, look, this was their leading playoff goal scorer. This was their certified Oiler killer. He had 9 goals in 10 games against Edmonton this year.
Yeah.
And you pull him out of the lineup with a fluke, tough blood clot that It developed after game 6, had some pain in his leg. Doctors examined him, gave him some tests, and found the clot. Immediately placed on blood thinning medication, which ended his season. You need 3 months of that. And just a difficult time when you lose your playoff leading goal scorer on top of already not having your Vezina Trophy finalist goalie. That's pretty long odds for lots of teams to overcome.
So go ahead, Retro.
I had a hot take. I watched Pettersson's interview when he didn't say anything. And my opinion was,
he said a lot.
Well, and everything he did or didn't say, I was appalled at and stunned at. Is there something more going on that we don't know about, or is this guy's personality, and how is that going to play out in a market like Vancouver if he doesn't give a shit? Because that's what it looked like.
I was surprised at how it played out because they tried to pick him up. They tried the whole Trey Turner, let's go PD chant in game 6 and game 7, or game 5 and game 7. I mean, this is a market that has turned on so many players. 15 months ago, they were trying to run JT Miller out of town. Yep. They are highly combustible here, and they eat their own. So to think that that's how the market responded for this player that at $11.6 million a year next year needs to be driving his own play. Like, the conversation can't be, oh, well, his line mates aren't any good. The biggest thing, I don't confuse Elias Pettersson as not giving a bleep. I don't think it's an issue of effort. I think he's afraid and soft. And that's a really toxic, dangerous combination. Watching one of the most talented players in the world get the puck on his stick and shovel it off as fast as possible to avoid contact is highly alarming. These are the Stanley Cup playoffs. This is the grind. And anytime any team smells any sense of blood in the water, they are going to feast on you, and they're going to make your life even more difficult than it was before. And that's continually what they tried to do. I don't know where that came from. I don't know how that happened, but the Canucks have some serious questions to answer this summer, personnel wise, and that's not even going to be at the top of their list.
You made a face. Are you good there, Rhett? Or
we can beat it up all we wanted, but again, it's going to end up being.
And it happens, right? This is now. So what's the story going to be? Is he going to be the player that gets over that hump? And early in his career, he was criticized, couldn't elevate, couldn't handle the rigors of the playoffs, and then breaks through. Or to your point, could this?
How's Tocchet going to deal with it? Because it doesn't come across as the type of personality that Tocchet wants. I mean, he's going to have to work with it, but it doesn't seem like a Tocchet type of player.
No, and Rick Tocchet was exasperated. I mean, he just at some point he goes, I don't even know what to say anymore. I mean, that does not and will not play well with him. I think the toughest part for me to reckon with in talking about Pettersson is that he actually was a good playoff player before. Now, I know it's the bubble, but he had 18 points in 17 games. Like, this wasn't some guy that had shown signs of being soft before that all of a sudden is just like, why? How? Where'd that come from?
And so that's why I wonder if something bigger isn't happening off the ice, because, you know, those are pretty harsh words for a hockey player to hear. Soft and scared, right? And if he wasn't that before and he is now, like, was this stage just too bright? Or do we not just think, like, man, I watched him answer questions so far on Lalji. I'm like, this guy hates being a hockey player right now. Doesn't it scream of something bigger going on?
His body language, yeah, he's self-defeating. You can see when he takes a shot and misses the net, he can't flush it. And it seems like someone that's in their own head, but to suggest something like I don't know anything more than what I can see. And to answer the question that everyone's been asking, hey, is he injured? There's no way the Canucks would throw him to the Wolves and allow him to eat bullets like that if he was.
Yeah.
I think there's a bunch of guys that are banged up. I think Ian Cole played through some crazy lower body stuff. I think Quinn Hughes is dealing with a right shoulder problem. He wasn't the same. But I don't think there's anything wrong with Elias Pettersson.
So Oilers Dallas, what did you make? It took a couple of goals by Dallas the other night to get through, but Dallas, not to say they didn't break a sweat, but they were dominant, clearly the better team. It was no fun for Colorado despite going to 6 games.
Well, when a team holds you to half of your chances off the rush that you got in the regular season and kills your bread and butter, it's going to be difficult to win. That said, it's a really interesting dynamic because everyone looks at this Western Conference final with Dallas as the clear favorite and says, oh, look at the Oilers and how much they struggled with the Canucks. I'll say 2 things. One, the Oilers struggled with the Canucks all year. Sometimes there's something to that. The Canucks finished the 11-game season-long series 7-4 against Edmonton. They had some circus-like wins in these playoffs. The Oilers, they couldn't get goaltending to save their lives. I mean, this could have been a quick series had they gotten even some modicum of stops. If they got an .870 save percentage, this is how low the bar is. An .870 save percentage, they would have been up 3-0 in the series to start. So sometimes you just struggle with a team. That said, when you look at the Stars, like, this was no cakewalk, and you are to say that they've been the total dominant team, I think, is to gloss over the fact that they were down 0-2 to the Golden Knights on home ice and nearly blew back-to-back 3-goal or more leads to open the series against the Colorado Avalanche. So they are a tremendous team. They are way deeper than Edmonton. The Oilers have to try and find some, way to get depth scoring that they haven't gotten to this point. But the Oilers also have a level that they can get to with Draisaitl and McDavid. Draisaitl is maybe the best playoff player that we've seen in the NHL in the last 40 years. Like, he's that good. Their level is just a bit higher than the Stars' top level, I think. The question is, how often can Edmonton get there? And what are they doing when the Stars find a way to clamp down on the Oilers' Stars?
Are the Stars going to be able to test Oilers goaltending more than Vancouver did? Because Vancouver just didn't get a lot of shots at all, but the Oilers actually do a pretty good job of hiding their, non-star netminding.
I think most people would be shocked to know that the Oilers are, right up there at the very top in high danger chances allowed, scoring chances allowed. They have defended actually quite well these playoffs, and that's across 2 series, not 1. So can they? They're going to need a lot more from their bottom 6, and I mean defensively. Ryan McLeod, the days of flybys are over. Dylan Holloway, he did a lot of heavy lifting. Matthias Janmark had a really good last 2 games of the series. Like, it's going to be all hands on deck to try and take down this Dallas team.
You have a plane to catch.
Yeah, I also have a pitch to make.
Uh-oh. Really?
Yeah. Can or should Flames fans pull for the Oilers as Canada's last team standing?
Can I ask a question to you, and we'll see how you respond?
Yeah.
If there's only one team playing left in Pennsylvania, should the whole state rally behind them and turn their support to the other team in the state?
No, but that's not really a great comparison.
It's a great comparison with 2 teams in the province. What are you talking about?
We don't think we invented hockey in Pennsylvania, so that's the difference. So my question is, as proud Canadians, Does it mean anything to you guys that the Oilers?
No, I can interrupt you and not let you finish your question.
No, but I want to finish the question because it's really fun. It's fun.
No, you can mark us down as 0 for 3.
Okay.
On whatever tabulation you're doing.
That's why I want to ask, because this is the place to do it. If I don't do it here, where else am I going to do it?
Do not do it at all, because we will not be.
Yourself, Frankie.
Yeah,
the Oilers have 16 of 20 Canadians, the most in the salary cap era.
Yeah, I know it's a lot of Canadians.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah,
I've hated the Oilers since my brother was 8 years old, and I will continue to hate them. And
what did he do to you?
He cheered for the Oilers.
Yes,
and we're brothers. What do you? No, it ain't work. It ain't happening. Still does. Sends me pictures of his kid in his dumb Oilers jersey last night. My sister does it with her kids. It's bad parenting. It's bad upbringing. And if you're not from Edmonton, you should not be part of it.
Hey, if it makes you feel any better, the Oilers don't think it means anything either.
Yeah,
every year someone tries, though, Frank. It's been about 20
I know,
years.
and it's the cheesy, hokey question, except this time they actually, being full of Canadians, are actually truly Canada's team.
No, they're not Canada's team. They're Edmonton's
This is not the
team.
Olympics.
Edmonton can have them.
Yeah.
I did get some guy tweeting me today. You do realize it's not the Olympics, right?
Yeah.
How many of those Canadians would make the Olympics? 2, maybe? Bouchard and McDavid? Hyman, maybe?
Yeah, I think Hyman would be in the mix.
No goalies? Maybe Skinner?
No, I mean, did you see the way he's played? I mean,
I know.
Isn't
There's
that
no
the
Canadian
ultimate
goalies.
indictment for the Canucks is you had Stuart Skinner re-enter the series after taking over for Cal Pickard, and you never asked the question of either one of those guys in 4 games.
Yes.
Are you any good?
Yep. Totally agree.
And just in closing, I guess if you were to go to Winnipeg or somewhere else, Toronto, and ask, hey, are you going to get behind the Oilers now? It's been a long time since a Canadian team has won the cup. You might get a different answer. This is not.
But that's why I only wanted to ask it in one market, and that was this one.
Yeah, and that's why I gave you the Pennsylvania thing. It's like, no, that's a hated rival. You don't.
We didn't
cheer for your
think that we
greatest
invented
rival.
hockey.
So, but you
It's nothing to do with who invented hockey.
You're saying Alberta or Calgary? Like, no,
dude, it's a rivalry, right?
Like, pick your.
To be fair, you
the
guys
Dallas
also
Cowboys. Like, would you be
live and
rooting for the
work.
Cowboys in the Super Bowl ever? Can you imagine? You know, I just can't.
Does Michigan State cheer for Ohio when they're the last Big Ten team? Like, what are we talking about here?
You guys also live in the most transient city in Canada.
Oh, there's lots of Oiler fans here. Yeah.
No one's from Calgary.
That's
I don't know what
even
that
why
means, but I don't like
even
it.
more
Big word,
you don't cheer for them. They're around you.
Yeah.
You have to live with the arrogance and the 80s and the draft lottery wins. Screw it, Frank. We're not in on this.
I'm not suggesting you should be. I just wanted to ask the question.
Actually, Frank, we've taken another approach to this.
Look, I like stirring the pot.
Yes, I know you do. This you can be part of this when we come up with the next bet, whatever it might be. The
wait, are you going to actually pay on one, or should we just keep betting for no reason?
I was going to go to Philly, and you weren't there. You're traipsing around the country. I was going to personally
actually working,
house.
Rhett. You know anything about that?
No, I work smarter, not harder, Frank. I was going to personally deliver it, but the next bet, the loser is going to have to wear their Flames gear and get in the front row of that Oilers honk show. Pit. Yeah, whatever the hell it's called.
That's last place in our fantasy league. We're setting that up
party
this
all
year.
night.
Hey, speaking of liquor, I got to tell you the story. I have made some unbelievable friends in Edmonton, and I'm a bourbon collector. I've been, my interest in this. Someone gave me $1,000 bottle of Pappy Van Winkle in Edmonton the other night. It's coming home with me in my suitcase, and I'm really hoping that the old border guards don't ask what's in my bag.
Wow. You better lock it up because those things tend to go missing.
Next time you're in town, I'll give you a pint of old Bill McGillicuddy. If I'm not sure where that ranks on your bourbon scale, but
and some fan listening would like to give me a cup of shit, I'm sure.
Oh
that's
no,
fine.
You know what? Very positive stuff with you today.
Oh, I'm sure. I've been the most popular guy in Vancouver. Can I just read you one of the mean tweets?
Yes,
I did a whole series of these today. Frank, I will always remember how you homered the Oilers in this series. You never, ever appear on our shows or stations, you bum. By the way, the entire time I was in Vancouver, every day, I did something on one of their shows every day.
I know.
LMFAO, they beat a third-string goalie. If Demko is here, it's curtains for your Oilers. Like I care. The guy from Philadelphia, I'm suddenly an Oiler fan. Okay.
Orange.
Yeah.
Strong color.
And do you want one more for the road?
Yes.
Frank, so I tweeted out a video of the Canucks getting faded by their fans. It was a great standing ovation for minutes well after they didn't show up in Game 7. And I said how cool it was, the video. Frank, don't pretend like you have some nice words now. It was incredibly obvious you didn't think Vancouver belonged here and didn't give them a sniff of respect. Don't act like it now. Take your Oilers jersey and move along where you'll get swept easily by Dallas.
Oh, yeah. Well,
okay.
Are you covering a series in round 3, by the way? Or are you going to get some home time for a bit?
I'm going to go home for a bit. I'm slowly losing the title of husband and father, so probably need to see if I can hang on to that. And I will head back out at some point in round 3, but it's the beauty of the playoffs.
Rangers are close. A quick train in there.
Yeah, Manhattan smells
like weed.
Like a lot. Like
that's garbage.
Like you need a shower anytime you are out.
In fairness, I was just in Philly. It's not like it's a potpourri downtown there necessarily. Yeah. Hey, good luck. Get that bottle of bourbon and your Oiler pajamas all packed away. Get on your flight. And
what a time to be alive.
We'll reach out again next week. Appreciate you, Frank.
Love you,
Smell
Frank.
you later.
Smell you later. There he is, Frank Seravalli. Hockey Insider Daily Faceoff, dailyfaceoff.com. You can go to that website daily, find out what's going on there. Felt bad.
Didn't he just say that the Oilers didn't show up in Game 7 at the end there?
Yeah, well, the
Canucks. And then he was trying to tell us it was a great game. Can't be both.
Yeah, I know. I didn't want to pile on. Tough start, tough end.
He didn't like that.
Yeah.
And look, if you're in the building, of course, it's a totally different experience. You're not on your couch. I get it. But that was not an epic Game 7. No one's going to rewatch that bastard and save it on the PVR.
It's probably in the eye of the beholder because, let's be honest, I think we all wanted to see Edmonton lose. Didn't want to see Vancouver win necessarily. But it's like, let's see these pricks lose. And it just felt like there was no chance of them losing for a good chunk of that game. But yeah, it was
52 minutes or whatever. Yeah.
It'd be even less entertaining, I would think. If you're just a casual observer and you don't have a rooting interest, you're just looking for scoring chances and entertaining hockey. That was not that. It was a snore fest from the Canucks.
I thought so.
Well, we're right. Just ask us.
Yeah,
we'll tell you.
We're really right.
Yeah,
we'll keep telling you. Yeah.
Let's get back to the Pinder Report. In time for dumb stuff. Did we start with the dumb stuff, or are we?
Tim Nackey is our bridge from the sports world to idiocy of the Pinder Report. Buckle up, Jack. How was your weekend with the Pinder Report WhatsApp chat?
Oh my God, I haven't even gotten a quarter way through the stuff you've sent me.
I got enough dumb shit for the next 2 weeks, friends. So.
Well, I was going to say now, because you're leaving, you're not here Friday, you're off next week. I will obviously be handling, I guess, the Pinder Report. It's a different tone entirely when you're not here.
I've got a solution. You are going to find 5 to 10 sports items. Jack is going to find 10 idiotic events from around the globe, and together you will present the Pinder Report.
I like that. It's a lot of work for Jack, but
I just keep sending him this dumb shit anyway. He's got enough for a month. Let's start with Rhett fishing on the weekend. Now, there's this little slough just outside of Rhett's place. So we thought we'd test, okay, what's actually in the slough here? There's some American meat. Not as good as Alberta beef. We'll throw it in, see what happens. Probably, what'd you leave it in there? A day, Rhett? What was it? A couple hours?
Oh, yeah, a couple hours. Put it in the morning, came back at night.
Yeah, so there you are. Rhett's done work.
Getting some minnows.
Let's see what we got.
Live minnows for.
Oh, that's full.
It's a potpourri.
It's a potpourri.
A lot of snakes in there, eh?
Eels, Ryan.
Eels.
Is that an eel, you think?
Freshwater
eels. There's freshwater snakes. There's also eels, and they're different. You're right.
Yeah.
I don't know. Okay. You tell me it's eel. I'm not going to fight you. It's your fishing setup.
And it's delicious.
He was there.
Now, you guys have both gone to that place in Arizona. We have an acquaintance who has a lovely place in Arizona. I'm told that there is a basement there, but no one knows because in Arizona, like in the desert, you don't build basements. But here's the thing. I do have a basement. If you look closely, those are scorpions, Steve. Not one, not 100. Not 1,000.
He's got a scorpion problem for sure,
or a solution. I don't know. I mean, he's prepared for World War III. What does he know about scorpions? We don't know. Look at this setup.
Yeah, like is he collecting them? Is that what it is?
He's not only collecting them, he's breeding them and spawning them.
Oh, nice.
They are delicious when you get them at the fair, the deep fried.
Yeah, stampede, dipped in honey.
Ooh,
gross.
Rhett, to get over to that fishing hole, there's that, the long way where you go around the lake, but there's also that bridge. So
it's too far.
You want to take the shortcut? Here's what you get.
It's so far to go around, right?
I could save 10 minutes and then not miss lacrosse, whether it's indoors or outdoors.
Definitely don't stop there.
But it's too heavy for the bridge, right?
Yeah.
T's and P's.
One less kid and we'd have made it.
That's true.
You keep telling the shoveler that. It's crazy how often that comes up. If we had one less kid.
Yeah. Tough times out there on the roads. There's some treacherous driving out there, like just.
Yeah, summer.
This is a skittish one. I think this is from Brett and the Shoveler's World Travels.
Peru.
In Peru. There you are.
Machu Picchu.
Quite so. Dean, if you ever leave your house, these are the types of adventures that await you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, look at the views, huh?
And you always wanted to be a bus driver.
Always did. Yeah. I take it back.
What was that bus route number you always wanted to drive?
No, I'm going to take it back.
Taking that back. Okay. Weird. This one's called Cat and Mice. Watch the speed and efficiency here. Very impressive work. Look at that, eh? Look at Dad. You proud of me?
Ugh, hate mice. Gross.
Love cats though, right? And this is why, eh? Don't worry about it. Cats are just a different level of athleticism, eh? That's why cougars are so scary. If it was a bear that big, you'd be like, okay, that's super scary. But like a cougar, you're like, that's insane.
Yeah.
You jump 30 feet and have like lightning quick reflexes. Not fair.
When those cougars attack, you got to be ready.
That's right.
How do you get ready?
Very nimble. Some of them are anyway.
Aggressive.
We got a scooter and a skater. Let's go with the skater first. Now, this is a longboard team. And this is high velocity going down a hill. I don't know how they set the roads up for this, or you got a buddy at the bottom that's like, yeah,
you got to tell the cars, right? That, hey, my idiot pal.
How many people die doing this? Because this guy is actually surviving all the turns and literally skidding his hands down.
That's a Kananaskis, right? Coming down from Nikiska.
Yeah, down from Nikiska.
Yeah.
Boy, the snow's really gotten off the ground pretty quick there. Looks great.
He's got a couple dinner plates in his hand there.
That's so he can put his hands down. So he can, it's like a little, yeah. There it is. Get a little balance. That looked trouble.
You don't get good at that without being bad at it for a short amount of time, at least.
I don't know how you get good at it without dying first. That's the challenge. It's quite impressive work from this young man. Let's go to the scooter, skater. There's ramp too. Yeah, skater. Here we go. Oh, that's double whammy, Rhett. It's a right ankle and then a head.
Do not stand up.
Ankle.
Yeah.
Oh. No. That looks like Kate's kid with the curly hair that was making all the draft picks. How'd you like to be dead?
Jesus.
I noticed you don't skate park just at the rink that I take the kids to. I think I'm going to go tonight.
Now keep this paused. Now who's Dom Toretto? You guys don't know, eh?
No, I don't know.
That's the guy. It's Dom from Fast and Furious, isn't it, Jack?
Oh, is it?
Isn't that the boy? Isn't that,
I'm admittedly not up on my Fast and Furious.
How many did you get through? 10? You hit fatigue at some point there?
Then I was out after the 10th, yeah.
Speaking of out, here we go, Dom.
Took car Nigel, testing out his skills on the scooter. Oh,
That's
the supercar Nigel testing out his skills on
a lot of weight at the back there.
Oh.
Yeah, you needed some.
If the motor was at the front, you might have been better off there. Maybe backwards you could do it. That's tough.
Yeah,
He's Vin Diesel.
hate to
That's
see it. Is that who it is?
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
he's
right.
so good.
What a great actor.
Yeah.
Now, who would win in a battle, a cobra or a python? I know you've been spending a lot. When you can't sleep, Dean, you just stare at the roof and you're like, because the cobra, you get the venom, but then the python would constrict. And who would win?
The cobra.
That's what.
Well, there are no winners, actually. The king cobra bites the python. The python constricts the cobra to death. The cobra gets crushed, and the python dies from the cobra's venom.
Oh, man.
Two ugly animals.
Sad.
I'm not.
Two less snakes. I'm okay with it.
This is what Dean. That's why Dean doesn't leave the house. He's one of those. I don't want to get him in trouble with the local
got the Michael
PTA,
Vick with
but
snakes.
he's
Is that what it
doing
is?
those. Yeah. What if these two animals battled videos in his
Mhm.
basement? That's all he does all day.
Yeah, that's right. It's like Saw.
Tarantula
Yeah,
versus snake.
Yeah.
Snake versus mongoose. Wolverine against bear.
Do you wonder, Ryan? This is just between Rhett and I.
Mhm.
Do you think that at some point the Pinder Report will ever evolve, like beyond snake, like reptiles, alligators, snake?
The only one chance we have, the single chance we have, is that at some point there will be some sort of summer slowdown,
Yeah,
breakish kind of thing.
in the animal kingdom.
Well, and he won't be on top of these things and continually trying to feed on a daily basis. So he's going to get
Right.
distracted by something else. And hopefully by the time of his return, it's kind of reset.
Because it has been months
all year
of us watching snake and alligator videos, and we have nothing to do with snakes or alligators. Not birds, not alligators and snakes.
It's a lot to life out there. I'm not a reptile fan.
Oh, we can bring Ryan back in. Ryan, back to you.
Hey, guys. Yeah, I've decided to forego the marsupial portion of the Pinder
Oh, did you
Report.
have some?
The Joeys?
Kangaroos.
Oh, did you have some
people
Australian
forgot,
content
That's where this
with-
started. It was kangaroos.
Right,
That's how
okay.
literally between the sea bombs and kangaroos. That's how we got Aussie Brad in. And, from there, Australia, dangerous
Yeah.
animals, and away we go. So we'll get right to the food portion. Thanks, Dean. Let's start with, well, let's see what it is. I don't know. What's the name for this? That looks like spicy noodles, Dean. And there's some eggs, too. This is a reptile-free zone. Those are not eggs of a reptile, just so you're familiar. Noodles contain 0 reptile. Eating very quickly. Brett, they say you shouldn't eat this quick. It'll give you tummy aches. Tough for digestion.
She's that yakking it back out anyway. Definitely not keeping all that down.
I was going to say we don't have time to get all these eggs in, but she's moving them at a very brisk pace, Dean. That is. Oh, wiped your face. Okay, that's a little timeout. This is where it should not be easy anymore.
She's slowing down.
Yeah, she's really hitting the wall here. This is like the 40th nugget. Nope, never mind. She's picked it right back up. And there we are. Okay.
Yeah, Ryan has this thing on the show where he'll show videos of, like, it's this woman who's like putting things in her mouth and oh wow, is that? Yeah,
Really, you're allowed to do that?
no. I know you think that sounds great. It's not. So you have is she hot? I don't know. I turn away every time it starts, but they have there's some lady.
Oh, that doesn't look good. What is this guy dumping on your
What the
driveway?
hell are these people doing out here?
What's
Sorry
it
to
got
interrupt
there?
you.
Is that some loam?
Did someone dump their
they're
load on
chewing
your
up the
street there?
road.
Oh, dear.
They're eating up the road. Just wait.
Oh.
So there's a blade. Is that what I'm seeing correctly? Is that a blade under the, or is it just a dump truck?
He's sprinkling some stuff. Look as he goes here.
shaky camera work. Oh, I see.
Oh, yeah, we're repaving here. That's exciting.
Yeah,
Brad.
they're digging up bones.
Your tax is hard at work here.
I'm digging up bones.
Razor called and complained about the roads, so it must have. Had to help Rob Ray move a fridge yesterday.
Did you? What was in it? Bodies?
A mouse.
Oh. Obviously, Rob doesn't have cats.
Should get a cat.
A couple to go here, Dean. So
I think I'd like to do this job.
Yeah.
the asphalt
Don't you
eater.
stop outside my house, buddy.
Oh, I hit it.
He's got to go do some dumping right now.
Oh boy.
He's got a full load. He's got to go dump that. Is there another truck there, Red?
Wait,
Is truck 2 going to come in and get right in there?
Tell you what, this poor bastard's sweating. It
Yeah.
is 90 degrees out and hot.
There's no cover, hey, on that
No
thing?
cover. That fella is exposed.
Yeah,
It's like an old tractor back in harvest days.
that's right.
You see him?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there he is. The old asphalt eater.
What a job.
What a job. I did some work yesterday in the house. It was quite an adventure. It was the I would say half hour to an hour job at the absolute at like top. Stretched her out a good 5-6 hours.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Yeah, stretched her out. Leaky
Sorry,
faucet.
Again.
Different one. This is the shower in the
Okay.
downstairs bathroom. Leaking. All right.
You've had some water issues because didn't you have the running
taps.
toilet down through the kitchen? And
Yeah, it's that kind of. I'm living in an old house. This old house, things need repair over time. Anyway, yeah, it's not worth getting into. All I know is that it wasn't my fault. That's what I know.
I had a kid like that.
Is that I didn't make the mistake or the error. I was in the right. Ryan, back to you.
Okay, let's get to bleeped food. This is number 99, and then we'll get to the mystery box. Okay,
Oh,
it looks
dude.
like a frog. Now, is this an empanada or what do we call this? A taco? Delicious. Okay, mystery box time.
damn
Dean. I have a clip called, more what the bleep food, and the other one's called Old Lady. Now you get to choose: is it Old Lady or what the bleep food that we're going to go to for the mystery box today?
You're not supposed to tell me what's in the mystery box. Isn't it?
Well,
like
but you don't
mystery-
know exactly what either
mystery
are.
box and the dog. What happened to the dog?
Well,
Screw the
I've
dog.
got
The dog's dumb.
No,
Dorn.
the
Where's Dorn the
foodie.
dog?
I already
Dorn's
got
a
the
dork.
tick
I don't
with the
want no
microphone eating.
dork dog. You know what? There's been too many dogs in my life lately because it's 4 years ago I got a dog. The damn pictures keep popping up this week.
Right before you abandon it. Got it. So, Dean, the question is the food or the old lady?
Busty.
Food.
Old lady.
Okay, so let's set this one up. It looks like we have an altercation at some sort of a convenience store,
Yeah.
a place of commerce. Now, the lady in the pink is the old lady. She is in a dispute with one of the staff members who's in black. This looks like it's an embrace to start. Let's pick it up live.
You're assaulting me! Officer! Lady, get out of the store. Get out!
She's on the phone here. Look, Dean.
Swing at me again. Get out. You put your hand on me! You swung at me! Put your hand on me!
Keep an eye on the pink here.
You put your hand on me! I'm right here.
Oh, man.
And she just shit on my floor. Oh my God!
It's a bit of a plot twist at the end.
This is a sponsored segment. Sponsored.
That one got me.
Which part, Rhett? The wrestling match at the start? Was that what got you?
The frog empanada? What was it?
I didn't like that either. Jack! Boss!
Yes, hello. I
You're
don't
part of
watch
the problem.
these.
If you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem.
I actually didn't see that one.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't. Before Ryan said, "Did you see the old lady?" I said, "Nope."
Well, Ryan likes a good surprise.
Good plot twist at the end. Nobody saw that coming.
Did not.
Well, the lady probably had a hint. But...
Pinder Report brought to you by Village Honda. Huge selection of pre-owned vehicles, all makes, all models, all budgets. Now, you can go online. I did it this morning, actually. Went to villagehonda.com, looking around there. That's just a little sampling of what they've got. There's new, there's pre-owned, but they're part of the dealership group, the Wood Automotive Group. You go in, talk to the sales staff, let them know kind of what you're after, and then let them go to work. They'll scan the database and find what's right for you. One-stop automotive destination in Calgary. Worth the trip, Village Honda in the Northwest Auto Mall. No hockey tonight.
No.
Things rev up tomorrow with the Florida Rangers series. So we can do our picks tomorrow for round number 3. But what happened in round 2, you're asking? Because for Betway, the guys always, every round they go and they make their picks. I wonder who was the wisest from round 2. We'll take a look. It's the Betway bets. Harf and Harf had Colorado beating Dallas, had Carolina to beat the Rangers, and what's even worse is
Carolina pick is Carolina had already lost the game.
Yeah, they were
That
already
was a
down.
bold pick. They were down 1-0. Yeah.
So wrong there. Wrong with Colorado.
Yeah, we all were wrong, I think.
Boy, oh boy.
Can't miss watching this team play. They're must-watch hockey.
Yeah, that was going to be a bloodbath.
And then...
Yeah. They did too much in the Winnipeg series, right? Is that what it was? They just used it all up? There's probably a phrase for that.
To be fair, the deletion of the leading playoff score at the time was not ideal.
Not ideal.
No, but they were already down 2-1, so it wasn't the only thing that went wrong. Really.
Florida beats Boston. Edmonton does get by Vancouver. And it's good we didn't pick games, because I'd have probably had that as, say, 5 or 6 for the Oilers at the best or worst, whichever you want to put it. Moving on. So 9-3, that's the record through 2 rounds. Retro nails them all except for the Colorado-Dallas series. You took the benefit of the 1-0 Ranger lead and you feasted. You went to town, Florida, the Oilers. Now, did you chastise me for taking the Oilers, but also took the Oilers? Is that how that worked?
I think that was Jack.
Oh.
Could be wrong.
So 7-5, the retro record through 2 rounds. Jack, he also took Carolina and Colorado. So our picks were the same, Jack, me and you. Boston losing to Florida. All right. So 7-5 for Jack. And there's the Pinder.
Oh, dear. Not good, fellas. Not good at all. I was feeling much better with Vancouver winning game 5, because I was the only one that had Vancouver. That was going to be sneaky. I did think this was going to be a series. I also do despise the Oilers with every fiber of my being, but nearly, but there again, it's not hand grenades or horseshoes, so almost doesn't count for shit. 1 for 4.
1 for 4 to fall to 6-6.
I think that's wrong too. I think I was 500 in round 1, so I should be under.
Well, I'm good at math, so I'll look at it after the show.
Okay.
That's my forte, for sure. With Betway, hey, you can get a free bet up to $200 if your first bet loses. Create a new account, and then you go and you just scan that QR code that's right there in the screen. Redeem your bonus. Then you place a bet, no minimum amount required. If the bet loses, you get a refund up to $200. You can then use that money to bet once again on your favorite sports. Offer only available outside of Ontario. Yeah. There's fewer series left now.
Is that right?
Yeah. So harder to get back into it, I guess, if you're looking to gain ground. You know what I mean? Harder.
3 more wins. I'm going to catch you.
Harder for sure.
I wonder how much pick distribution we'll have here, because I feel like there'll be a lot of us on the same page in the West, but the East, this will be very interesting to see where people go.
Retro loves a curveball. He loves a good swerve. You just never know where he's going.
He's also a Panther, and he also lost to Dallas in the final. So we'll see.
I live in New York State.
And I know that you also love a good media question.
Yeah.
And reporters gather around and start asking the real hard-hitting questions. I saw these and I thought of you, so I just for no real reason just kind of threw them out. The season-ending press conference with Rod the Bod and Carolina Hurricanes general manager Don Waddell. The assembled media in press conference formation. So you've got the desk, you've got the dais, the podium. Waddell, Brindamore fielding questions from the media.
Don, I know you don't negotiate with parents, but Martin Necas's dad had some comments about him wanting to be traded and maybe not being happy. He wasn't on the top power play unit, all of that. Again, I know you don't deal with parents, you deal with agents and players, but what do you think of that? And, maybe his future, obviously, he's a RFA, and that's a...
Well, first, you're telling me something that I don't know, because I could care less what everybody says, and regardless if it's an agent or a parent. I love the parents, but I want to talk to the parents about their kids, not about their contract. So I don't have enough toes and fingers to tell you how many players have walked in my office say about being traded. And we're not opposed to always trading players, but you also got to look at the value of what you're getting back for players. And Marty's an exceptionally skilled guy that you're just not going to give up on, that's for sure. So we'll deal with it as the summer progresses. Say hi to his dad for me.
Every parent thinks their kid should be on a power play, by the way. And they just don't have a microphone to announce it. So the only 5 parents that are happy are the guys that get the first crack. And they're all, hey, I love you, coach. And the rest all hate him. Hate the coach because his kid's not on a power play. That's okay.
Good old Rod trying to bail out his GM there. Just so you know.
Context, fellas.
Man, not to say I've never used I talked to someone's dad and he said his son should have more power play time. Thoughts? I don't know what the reporter was expecting to get there. Oh, did he really? I'll write that down. More PP time for Marty next
That's
season.
funny, because usually you'll see parents being, coach, I think you're using my kid a little too much. There's some other really valuable and worthy guys. Those power play, spread them around a bit. I'm sure you hear that a lot, Rhett, from your parents that you deal with it. My kid's good. Why don't you share around the minutes with some other guys?
Yeah, don't just use my kid all the time in
Team
all
first.
the high-end situations. I'd love for everybody else's kid to have an opportunity. So
a unique perspective there.
So do you think Marty is asked for a trade? Because he's RFA this year.
I think Elliot had it that what Marty Necas wants, the Hurricanes will not be ready to give.
Yes.
So that's interesting, because he was a name that we heard bandied about when Matthew Tkachuk made his list of teams and destinations. Carolina was one of them. And that was a rumored piece to a theoretical younger package that could have come back for Tkachuk.
So whether he leaves or goes, let's envision him leaving or a team being interested. Is your interest of him tainted somewhat by the actions of the father and the additional issues that may be accompanying it?
A little bit.
Red flags?
A little bit.
I don't know how to feel about it, because, we heard earlier this year Mikko Rantanen tore a strip off Arturi Lekkonen's dad, and we thought, oh boy, that must be, look at that guy. That must be brutal. Oh man, they must be horrible. No, they're best of pals, and the old man's his own thing. Talent's the hard thing to acquire.
Nice looking dog there.
Really good looking.
Hey?
You feed him too much, though.
Did you go, boy? Who's the boy? Hey,
what does that guy do for exercise? Lie by the fire?
Yeah, pretty much. Beanbag.
Oh, yeah, that's good.
Holds down a beanbag. Hey, buddy. Oh. You want to say hi to Rhett?
Nope.
We've gone through a lot of therapy.
Yeah.
With him, and that guy is what we call
Looks to be doing great. The pooch.
He's good.
Early puppy trauma, I think that's called.
So yes, red flag for sure. Still a good player, just not sure. But you know what? Also, feels like one of the guys, not the guy. Feels like a good support guy. Don't know that he's going to be the guy.
Agreed. But where would he slot into the? Let's say the Calgary Flames put him up next to everyone on their board. Where is he?
The tippy top.
I mean, you don't have many people 25 or younger better than this guy.
Yeah, the very top for sure.
And again, like the Lekkonen thing, like I think everyone understands that's a great teammate, a great player. That doesn't mean his dad's not an asshat.
Yeah.
Different situations, but again, if you just heard what the dad said, you would have thought guys don't like him. Not true at all. Lekkonen's beloved, right?
Couple more. We're going to go to the hard court for these.
The hoops.
Yeah. Now I know, Rhett, well, you and Jack both disappointed because the Nugs ended up losing Game 7 to Minnesota. Heartbreaker. Yeah. So it's Minnesota moving on.
Yeah,
They'll
the
play
Wild,
Dallas.
they're playing good.
Yeah. This was Anthony Edwards and Karl Anthony Towns. Again, assembled media, podium, desk, microphones, the players answering questions.
This is for either one of you guys. And usually in NBA history, it says you have to lose and lose big before you win. What is it about this team that says
we lost last year?
Yeah, but that's different. You have to lose at a bigger stage. Usually, teams usually.
It's the playoffs. We lost last year.
We lost the last 2 years. Shit.
God damn. How much more we got to lose?
Yeah, how much you want us to lose?
We're losing for 20 years.
I mean, that's just the truth, dog.
God damn.
What makes
perfect.
They were great.
We lost. How much you want us to lose? God damn. And there's some other stuff that happened in that prep. There was some great stuff last night. There was some great stuff after this game. And Michael Malone is the coach of, I believe it's the Nugs. Winning is more fun than losing, it seems. Here's a losing coach.
How hard is it just to absorb a loss like this after going ahead by 20?
Next question, man. The season's over. That's what's hard. Fuck being up 20. The season's over. You don't understand that. The season's over. It's hard. Stupid ass questions.
Now, you could almost think it's AI, but it's legit.
That's not the
stupid ass questions. You were up 20. Thoughts?
And actually, that question was not completely stupid.
Yeah, it was. There's some merit to it, maybe.
Again, the job is to get the guy to say it so that you can write it as a quote. We all know that he didn't enjoy losing, but he has to say the words of how he's feeling so that can be put in a story.
Next question. Fuck being up by 20. Stupid ass questions. God damn. I feel like that should be a draw.
They had a monster lead in that game. Like it
might have to go back somewhere in the neighborhood of 20 points. It sounds like. Yeah. God damn. Well, like we've done all we can for today.
Marty Natchez is 25.
Yeah.
Plays center ice or right wing. Which one?
Well, it'll be center until he gets here, and then he'll be a winger.
Or is it the other way?
Well,
he's a winger, but for sure he could play center.
Yeah.
Roman Cechmanek, or no, Cervenka.
Yeah, well, that was Cervenka. He was a center.
Not a center. Yeah. Oh, shoot. We told everyone you were a center.
Is Tej Ginla center yet?
No.
Do we know that?
Sure isn't.
Okay. Because I'm wondering.
Remember when we got in trouble for, best player outside of the NHL?
Oh, yeah.
Who was right on that?
I wouldn't, not us for sure.
You don't have a scorecard anyway.
No.
Keep track of that stuff.
Don't matter. Wouldn't do it. Tomorrow, Wednesday, Noodles already. How about these short weeks?
Noodles Day.
Noodles. Good. And game one between the Florida Panthers, Reds, Florida Panthers, and the New York Rangers.
I was going to go, but it's too expensive.
It's too expensive.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Prices go up.
Wow, you too expensive for Red.
What about down in Florida?
I think in Florida is going to be much more reasonable.
Too hot.
Too hot.
See, there you are.
Too expensive. Too hot.
Now he sounds like a farmer.
Too fat.
Too wet or too dry.
Too tired.
Too hot, too cold.
Too humid.
Too dry.
Too drunk.
Too
I'm
sober.
gonna be there eventually. But
Too soft.
What do you got tonight?
the kids have hockey, and the dads have decided that maybe some tailgating should be.
Nice. Well, it sounds like the weather's right for it.
Weather is definitely right for it.
Yeah.
So you drink before the hockey, not after. That's a twist.
8:40 game.
Sure. What are you going to do? Yeah.
Who's got the grill?
It's not your fault.
Well,
Yeah,
I'm just
not your fault.
No, I'm just trying to be part of the team.
Yeah. Team guy, that's you. Good in the room.
I guess going to go online after the game and bitch about my kid's power play time.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah.
Coach
you let that
there.
coach know.
My kid deserves that top team power play.
You know, this Warner kid, red flags all over. The old man says he needs more power play time.
You ever, this is more for, and you know what, Ryan, you can be part of this too, but I don't like to disclude you here, but have you fellas ever, when you, maybe you go get groceries and you get home, you got a whole bunch of stuff and you get to the deep freeze or your freezer and it's kind of full. So you got to do some rearranging to get the new stuff in. And then you make some decisions. Okay, well, these buns are out or whatever. But so then at the end, you look, got it all put away. Perfect, which is pretty good because it was actually quite full when I got here, had a lot to go in there, got it done. And then maybe a day later,
Found
or 2 days
sitting
later,
outside.
you're just kind of rummaging about. And it's like, oh, that, I guess I took that out to make room and then it never went back in. Maybe why everything fit in there so easily. You ever done that?
I have.
Oh, I'm worried now.
Well, it could be worse.
Where'd you live?
But for no reason, we're having a turkey dinner tonight.
Nice. That's a positive. It's a meant to be event.
Happy Thanksgiving, fellas.
Meant to be event.
Yeah.
Love it. You're not going to be disappointed, Dean.
6 months till American Thanksgiving.
True,
It's
yeah.
New
You
party.
are not going to be disappointed, my
The Pilgrims
friend.
are encouraging this. They
How many
love it.
points out of the playoffs am I today?
And you don't have to. You don't have to stay up to watch hockey tonight. You can just eat that
Yeah,
and
go
go to
right
bed.
comatose, put some gravy on it. Yeah. So for no reason, the May 21st turkey. Now it could have been worse if it was something small. It would have been probably. But the thing about a frozen solid turkey takes a while.
So who are the Lions and Cowboys playing? And is your husband coming over?
The
Is Jack
early
swinging
game. Is
by?
it on, Jack? Are you coming over?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. An idiot.
Do it upright. Boom, boom.
I'll do it upright. You know,
That's
me.
some fun, Dino.
Mash some potatoes. So we'll do it tomorrow. We'll get our picks in for round number 3. We'll talk about the Eastern Conference. We'll talk with Noodles.
Need a gravy update too, probably. Huh?
Yeah, I don't have a get ahead gravy. That's the thing about
You're gonna have
last
to grind
minute
here to get
turkey.
the gravy.
You know what? Let's test your talents then.
Yeah.
It's one thing to make the good. It's wonderful when you do that, but this is traditional. Let's see how you do.
Yeah. I am going to have to look too, though. I think it's all thought out. I might be in a very tough spot. Maybe some 11 p.m. turkey for no reason. If it hasn't
too tired for turkey.
completely thawed.
If it's not, we'll do it tomorrow then.
I do it tomorrow. Put it back in the fridge. Why not?
It'll be fine till tomorrow. If it's
Who would get sick? Nobody. Nobody. That's
dude. I put a turkey in a hot tub.
not advisable.
Yeah, again, do consult your physicians before taking any medical advice from that.
If you do that again for the cooking show, we do have to have some footage on that. And now, okay, so we've got we put the butter under the skin and we've marinated it. We've got the spices. Now, let's turn on the hot tub. Make sure the jets are going.
Yeah.
Gross.
Gross that they ate it, or gross that people went in the hot tub after.
All of it. I don't know what's worse. Ugh. Okay, Jesus. See ya.
Go Cat.